Hey everybody, Gerald here at WatchReadVape.com, and today we are looking at the iTaste MVP 3.0 Pro by Innokin. This is a 60-watt box mod with a built-in battery, and what a monster of a battery it is. 4,500 milliamp hour battery. Yes, that means even the heaviest of vapors will be hard-pressed to kill this in one day, which is awesome. And it also has some additional features in it to make use of that larger battery. But before we get into that, this thing is pretty large. It's about 4 inches high, about 1 3/4 of an inch long, and about 7/8 of an inch deep. And it weighs about 212 grams, that's roughly about half a pound, so it's not small. You could also see that it has this very much industrial design, very sharp edges. It has exposed screws and all of that. Some people might like that. Some people might be turned off about that. I don't really mind it, other than the fact it's not really the most ergonomic of devices. As you can see, there's really no comfortable way of holding it. These corners right here, they're very sharp, and you can actually feel them. There's some weight to it, so that's definitely something worth keeping in mind. Just to do the whole 360 view of it, as you can see, each side is adorned with the iTaste MVP 3.0 Pro logo, as well as this dotted gridded texture on both sides. It's worth noting that this is the silver model. There's a couple colors, but specifically the gold, which is the limited edition, actually has a different texture on it. It's more of a honeycomb texture instead of this dotted gridded texture. On the back, as you can see, it's pretty much clean except for a couple logos right there. The front is where the magic happens, as you would say. It has the fire button as well as the LED screen, a plus and minus button that pretty much controls most of the functions of the device, and a micro USB input. On the top is a LED as well as the 510 connector. This device also comes with an eGo to 510 connector, so if you don't have a 510 tank, you could still use this device if you have an eGo tank. This LED right here pretty much has 3 modes: red when you're low on battery, yellow when you're about halfway on battery, and green when you're full on battery. And as you can see, I'm pretty low on battery, but that's something that I really like about this battery. I've been vaping on this all day, and as you could see, I have about maybe a third or maybe a little bit over a quarter of battery life left, which is pretty cool because my wife and I have been sharing this all day, so this thing was in constant use pretty much all day, which is nice. So at the bottom here, we'll talk about this first. This allows you to charge external devices, and this is a very unique option that you don't really see in most e-cigs. It allows you to plug in either through USB or this built-in micro USB cable into any device, and it will charge it. Now, that any device part comes with a little asterisk because this is only a 1 amp charger. What does that mean? That means most cell phones, some tablets should work with no problem. Unfortunately, most higher powered devices, your iPad, some laptops, stuff of that sort, uses 2 amps. And because of that, this will not charge devices that need 2 amps, only 1 amp. But that's not really going to affect you too much. You're going to use this for stuff like your cell phone, maybe a camera, and stuff like that should have no problem just getting a quick charge. What this is really good for is if you're out with your friends and your cell phone's dead and you need to make that last call, you could just pop this out, plug this right into your cell phone, and boom, you're up and running. So that's a really cool feature. I think that's something that is not the type of feature that would make me buy this device, but it definitely will weigh into my decision on buying this device. On the front here, as I said, is where pretty much all the magic happens. So what can this do? This is your standard 60-watt box mod. So that means it can go as low as 6 watts and as high as 60 watts. And then on the voltage side, you can go as high as 9 volts and as low as 3 volts. Now, the functionality of this device isn't the most straightforward device I've ever used, and I'll give you an example of that. So right now, you could see we're in wattage mode. So you're either in wattage mode or voltage mode. To get into voltage mode, you hold the minus button and then press the fire button, and it switches over to voltage mode. To get back into wattage mode, you hold the plus button and hit the fire button for a second, and it'll switch over to wattage mode. Now, keep in mind, it wasn't toggling back and forth. Wattage mode is assigned to the plus and voltage mode is assigned to the minus. So if I'm in wattage mode right now, if I just hold the plus and hit that, it's just going to keep me in wattage mode. That's just something worth mentioning. Now, wattage mode, just like most devices, you can increase and decrease by 0.5 watts. And when you're in voltage mode, let's get that switched over, you can go up by 0.1 in increments, which is really cool. One of the things I really like about this device is the voltage mode and the wattage mode has their own memory. So what does that mean? That means I can keep the voltage mode. We'll make the voltage mode, we'll put it on 4.2. And then I can make the wattage mode go over to 35. Now, what does that mean is if I have two different devices that need two different settings, whether it's a sub-ohm coil and a regular coil or whatever the case may be, this will remember that. I'm not sure if that's as much as a feature as just the way the device works, in the sense that if you look in the bottom left corner right here, it shows 0 voltage. And the reason for that is it doesn't calculate the voltage when you're in wattage mode until you hit the fire button. And the same thing when you're in voltage mode. It doesn't calculate the wattage until you're in fire mode. So to give that an example, we're going to connect my tank back up to it, and I'm just connecting a Triton tank. Let's get that in there. Cool. Okay. So now if we look back in there, as you can see, first of all, it's showing my resistance at 0.5. But when I hit this trigger, now it's actually showing how much voltage is being drawn. And then as soon as I let go, it goes back to 0. The reason I point that out is it was a little weird to me. Most devices that I've played with in the past, they would real time show you the voltage and wattage based off of the atomizer you have plugged in. This does not do that. And when I first got it, I'll be honest with you, I was a little confused by that. I thought there might have been something wrong or whatever the case may be. So that's something worth keeping in mind. You could also do a lot of other things, like you could flip the screen. So if you're left-handed, you can just hold the plus and minus button for a while and it flips, and then you could just flip it back. Just get that back there. As you could also see, while you're pressing the plus and minus sign, it will tell you how many hits you've took. The only way of resetting that counter is by turning off the device. So if we click this 3 times, it's now off. Let's click it 3 more times. We're back on. And now if we look at it, 0 puffs. But if I press this again, I'm at 1, 2, so on and so forth. So what do I think of this device? I love the battery. This is the type of device that you could take out with you and not have to worry about it dying on you. The drawback to that is because it's a big battery, it takes forever to charge. From 0, this takes about 4 to 5 hours to charge. So definitely this is the type of thing you want to plug in overnight. And as I said earlier, it's not the most ergonomic of devices. It's heavy. You could feel the heft of it. These corners can poke you. If you drop it, it's going to make a big boom. But with those downsides out, I really, really like this device. This has been my daily driver now for about 2 weeks. I take it everywhere I go, and I've not had any issue with it. And that's huge, right? Nobody wants to be out, with some friends or maybe at the mall or wherever you might be and have to start swapping out batteries, making sure it's charged, whatever the case. This is the type of thing that you charge it up all the way and you have nothing to worry about. So that's pretty much it for the iTaste MVP 3.0. It's a great mod. If you're looking for a box mod that's less than 100 watts and has the built-in batteries, this guy should really be at the top of your list. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you guys next time.